You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. No titles for the kids. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. According to Lauren Welch, who writes in The Express, Archie and Lilibet now highly unlikely to receive royal titles after Frogmore eviction. Indeed, it would appear that if the Frogmore eviction is indicative of the way that the wind is blowing with King Charles, that it would seem logical that he will not grant titles to Archie and Lilibet. The article explains Archie Harrison and Lilibet Diana are now highly unlikely to receive royal titles following the King's decision to evict parents, Prince Harry and Harry's wife, from Frogmore Cottage, a royal expert has claimed. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex's 2 children were not outright entitled to Prince or Princess titles. Of course, you will recall this didn't stop Harry's wife from complaining that they had been prejudiced in some way, even though, of course, the dunderhead did not understand that they were not automatically entitled to the titles. Instead, what occurs is that she once again claims that it's racism. This is a useful example, when that happened at the time, of a combination of her lack of understanding because of her comparatively low cognitive function, which is also combined with her innate paranoia generated by her narcissism. Rather than realise, look, the reason that you've not got the titles for your children is because where they stand in the line of succession, and because of the fact that they are removed from the monarch, is that they're not automatically entitled to them. It's different in relation to William's children. Oh, right, I see. Oh, okay, so there's actually a protocol, is there? Yes, there's an appropriate convention that governs this. Oh, right, okay, thank you for explaining. No, her narcissism goes, my children haven't automatically been given titles. That must mean that you're all racists. That is the way that the paranoia of her narcissism interprets that action to provoke her into responding so that she can nullify the threat to control that's posed by the children not being automatically granted those titles. It would be similar, for instance, if they had made an application to join a particular school which had been unsuccessful, and the reason that they were unsuccessful is that they don't live close enough to the school in question, and the school has an appropriate, transparent procedure for this and states that it's determined by reference to how close the parents live, children live, to the school. Harry's wife would ignore that and claim that the failure to include their application as one being successful was born out of some kind of racism, because of her victim mentality, that wherever there is a threat to control, her narcissism will invariably cry, use victim card here, use a race card here, to complain about it in order to nullify the threat to control. The article continues, speaking exclusively to express.co.uk about the Sussex's eviction from Frogmore Cottage, royal expert Richard Fitzwilliams talked of the repercussions that this will have on their 2 children. Mr. Fitzwilliams said, it means Harry and Harry's wife's children Archie and Lily are highly unlikely to be granted titles. He also added that it would mean the couple and their children's visits to Britain are few. Well, they're pretty minimal at the moment, so not really going to notice any difference there, are we? When the youngsters were born, they did not receive the titles of Prince and Princess because they were the great-grandchildren of the monarch. However, this has changed now that Charles is on the throne, and they are the grandchildren of the monarch. Under current guidelines, grandchildren of a monarch in the male line, the children of one of the king's sons, are entitled to take a prince or princess title, which has led to a row over Archie and Lily's titles or lack thereof. But this is not necessarily automatic, and the decision lies with the king. Of course. First of all, they weren't granted them because they were the great-grandchildren of Queen Elizabeth. Now they are the grandchildren, but the decision rests with King Charles, who of course is going to exercise it in accordance with his innate need for control. Bear in mind that on the face of it, Harry and Harry's wife have repeatedly threatened the king's control by slamming him in spare, their various interviews, etc., attacking Camilla, who of course is an extension of King Charles, and variously offending the royal family. Therefore, it is, as a matter of logic, unlikely that King Charles is going to say, do you know what, notwithstanding the fact that you behaved like a pair of arrogant shits, I'm still going to give your kids the title, because, hey, I'm good like that. More likely, even a normal person would be minded to think, well, not only have you not behaved particularly well, but you've made it clear that you don't want to be part of the royal family. So why would your children want titles? Indeed, one of your children was born in the United States, and therefore is even further removed from being part of the British royal family. Given the fact that you've wanted your independence and freedom, why do you want these titles so desperately? Furthermore, of course, given Charles's status as a narcissist, the very fact that they keep bleating about these titles is a threat to control, and of course their other behaviours amount to a threat to control, so one way that he can nullify those threats to control, of course, is to punish Ma and Pa by not giving the titles to the children. The article continues by explaining a rule which was established by King George V after he issued a letters patent in 1917, read, "The grandchildren of the sons of any sovereign in the direct male line, save only the eldest living son of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, shall have and enjoy, in all occasions, the style and title enjoyed by the children of dukes of these our realms." It is made all the more complex as Harry and Harry's wife are no longer senior royals, or even live in the United Kingdom. Archie and Lilibet are sixth and seventh in line to the throne according to the official line of succession. The two children remain listed as Master Archie Mountbatten-Windsor and Miss Lilibet Mountbatten-Windsor on the royal family's website. When Archie was born in 2019, Harry and Harry's wife decided not to use the courtesy title Earl of Dumbarton for their newborn son. Of course, you'll recall they didn't do so because they thought that he would be teased because it's got dumb in the title. Well, you needn't worry about any teasing as a consequence of the title. There's plenty of lampooning of you two as a consequence of your chicanery and shitty behaviours. This fact that the children are unlikely to be granted the titles, of course, notwithstanding the sheer logic that prevails of why would they have them, both in terms of them not being involved in the royal family and, of course, the behaviour of their parents, suggesting they wouldn't even merit providing them to the children, is irrelevant when it comes to, of course, the position of Harry's wife. Operating with her rampant sense of entitlement, she believes that children should have the titles, and, of course, any failure to provide them is seen by her, through her lens of narcissism, as an attack on her because, of course, the children are but extensions of what she is. They are little mirrors of Harry's wife. Accordingly, the failure to grant them is a threat to control, which necessitates her having to take action to nullify that threat to control, hence all of the bleating and whinging about it and playing the race card, etc. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.